Oh, need to sort that camera out. I'm a bit bright. Let me know if you can hear me, everyone, while I try and fix this camera issue. Let's see if we can do something with it. Oh. Oh, that's ultra bright. Let's just see what I can do here. Well, good start to it. It's been a while. Let me just see if I can sort the camera out. If not, I'll just go back to my old trusty laptop camera. Anyway, I hope everybody's all right. It's been quite some time, so I've got a lot of stuff to talk about with you. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the camera over. Let's have a look. Take that off there. Put that up there. Hello. Let's see who we've got in. I'm just going to do a quick hello to everybody and then we will get started. Hello, Chav Hunter. Hello, Critical Kit Sarah, downstairs. Hello, Etch a Sketch. Hey, Ceretix. Hey, Pastor. Hey, Ant. Hey, so yeah, it's really good. It's really good to be back doing this again. Not much has happened since I last did one of these. That's a joke. So yeah, we've had a really busy, well, several months, Sarah and I. I think the last time I did anything was Punk is Dead. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to have a little natter with you, just tell you what I've been up to, tell you what's coming up, and we're also going to play a bit of Be Like a Crow, but we're going to play it with what you can see on the screen at the moment, which is Korvus, which is the new Mork Borg inspired setting, which will be available on PDF tomorrow, but you can pre-order the physical copies now on our site if you just go on our site and search for Korvus. So yeah, so let's get started with what's been going on So I've been doing a heck of a lot of writing recently. So let me start with the things. Oh, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let me show you what you can win, because this is absolutely amazing. So everybody that's watching this stream is up for winning this thing, which is an amazing locket on a pendant. It's so detailed. And then inside it, if I just flip it open, check that out. There is a little teeny tiny set of dice. Let's do the, if I can get that, let's do what the professionals do. There you go. So hey Palby, thanks for joining. Palby1. Yeah, so there's a full set of teeny tiny little dice in there. Sarah's going to draw that sometime just after 8, I think, depending on how long we run on. But there you go. So yeah, tell anybody about the stream. So what else have I been up to? Yeah, so I think the last time I did a live stream was Punky's Dead. We did that for the launch. That went absolutely great. That should be out sometime in September. We're just putting the finishing touches to it. But since then, we've had so many other things going on. The most recent of which is, apart from Korvus, which we're going to play through today, is this, which is going to be out next week, Once We Were Gods. Once We Were Gods is a... Check this out. It's a D&D solo adventure that I've written. So I got back on my D&D BS. So I've written an adventure. What's really cool about this one as well is not only is it's like a swamp crawl where you're searching for pieces of a fallen deity to try and restore them. It also, you can play it just with the SRD, so you don't need to go spend any money with Wizards of the Coast to play this. You can just get this book, and you can get the SRD from Wizards of the Coast. It's all free. It's all out there, and you can play this. Yeah, all you've got to pay for is this book. So if you're that way inclined not to give Wizards of the Coast any money, there you go. It works. Next bit of news that I've got is that good friends of mine at Parable Games, the Menzies brothers, along with their great artist Ben Alexander, have been, if you went to UKG, you might have seen this. They're doing a Kickstarter for this, Ironheart. It's a game where you play two characters, a solo journaling game where you play a mech and you play the pilot of the mech. So it's a lot of fun. But the reason I'm mentioning this is that they just passed a stretch goal where I get to write a story circuit in it. So I'm going to be writing something for this. I think it's out March next year. But yeah, give it a check out. If you go on to BackerKit, actually, it's on. If you go on to BackerKit, and should be on probably the top funded or something, or on the front page. But if it's not, just search for Ion Heart or search for Parable Games. Yeah, but give that a check out, because yeah, I get to write something on that. And there's also a free, I think you can get this free as a PDF. The starter, it is going to be a hardback book. So give the boys a bit of love. And then finally, what I wanted to tell you about is oh no, sorry, before I do that, let's flip over to some dice. So we still do deal dice. We have the advent calendars are up. So I hate to be talking about Christmas advent calendars when the weather's like this, but we have to plan things and get things well in advance. So if you go on Kickstarter, you'll be able to search for advent-yo or go to criticalkit.co.uk. We've got a big banner. We have a Christmas advent calendar and we have a Halloween advent calendar, which is probably a bit better. It's a bit sooner. Each one has an original set of sharp edge dice in it and 2 other theme sets. They're going to come with a D&D one shot and yeah, 3 little gifts related to the theme. So Christmas gifts, Halloween gifts, etc., etc. Right. The game I do want to talk to you about, aside from Punky's Dead, which is coming out soon, is this one, Wires in the Woods. So I am creating this game. It's a solo and duet game. Oh, that's a solo and 2-player game. It's called Wires in the Woods, and it's a collaboration with this amazing artist, Simon Curd. You can check him out on simonjcurd.com. I've no doubt if you've been to some of the like comic cons and gaming cons in the UK, you may have seen his stuff. But yeah, I'm so excited about this game. This is a game where you play these little creatures in a world that's been abandoned. So it's an upcycling game. So you explore the world, you find things that have been left behind, and then you repurpose them to use to solve your own problems. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. So it's kind of an 80s theme to it. But there it is. Look at that artwork. It's amazing. I'll show you some of the creatures as well that you can play in a moment. And there are going to be minis. Absolutely. And this is coming to back a kit probably in September, once we've got Punky's Dead out of the door. So these are the creatures. These are the first sketches of the creatures that you can play that he's drawn for me. So you've got this one in the top corner is called the Scamper. We've got a Swoop. This one's definitely going to have to be a plushie at some point, right? The Trampler. This is, what's that one called in the bottom? That's the Scurry. And these are really cool. So the ones, so not only can you play one character, you can play, you can play the Scurry. This one's called a Burrow. Sorry, these are the Scurry. You can play a Scurry, which is where you play multiple characters, and as you get injured, you lose some of these creatures, but as you are traveling along, as you're going along your travels, you can also get new creatures. You can pick up new little scurriers, so that's quite a fun one. You'll be playing multiple, kind of like a swarm in D&D, I guess, but not D&D. I'm going to make it a lot more fun. It's going to be a cozy game. It's going to have a slightly dark tint to it, but it's definitely going to be one of the coziest games I've written. So yeah, I'm so excited about working with Simon. It's just been every bit of the process of this so far, and he's, you know, I am writing this, but he's thrown a lot of things into the mix. So I met Simon about a year and a half ago at a convention, and I bought some of his art. And I asked him about the creatures, and he said he didn't have any lore or a world to them. So I went off, and I could not stop thinking about them. So I wrote a load of stuff down on a piece of paper, and yeah, I went back to him and I said, "Do you want to make a game out of this stuff?" and yeah, he said yeah. And a year and a half later, here we are doing all this. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to tell you about now. There's some other stuff. You will be able to come and see us. We are heading out on the road in a few weeks, so that our first stop will be, so Sarah and I will be heading out to PAX West in Seattle. So I think we're there. We land in on the 29th. We literally land on the night of setup, and we'll be there for 5 days, I think. But I think that the convention runs 30th, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of September. So it's on Labor Day if you're stateside. It finishes on Labor Day. Then we will be heading back here. We will be going to Tabletop Scotland, but it won't be us. It'll be Josh, our newest member of the team. He's been with us 3 months now, but he's doing a great job of getting things out to retail stores. So if you find our stuff in your local, if you find our local stuff in your retail stores, that's Josh that's doing that. So and please be sure to tell them about our games, because we've got so many titles now. And yeah, we want to see them out in your local shops. And then after Seattle, after Scotland, so Sarah and I will be taking a few weeks off, and then Josh and I will be heading out to the big one, Essen 24, which is in Germany. So I know we've got some German people on tonight, so I hope we can obviously see them there. We are going to be also inviting Parable Games along with us. They're going to be having sharing a bigger stand with us, which will be quite fun. So you'll be able to get not only will you be able to see our games, you'll be able to check out some of their games as well, which are generally horror themed games, apart from this new Iron Heart one, which is a cozy one. Yeah, Pastor, that'd be great. Come and see us. You always come and see us in Essen bearing gifts, so no pressure, but thank you. Yeah, it'd be nice to see you again. So Essen's going to be the big one. And then I think, just quickly going over what we've got next, we will be at PAX Unplugged this year. So we'll be heading to Philadelphia. We will be going to Dragon Meet in London. And we will also be doing MCM London. And I think that's probably it for us for the year, until things kick off again next year, with likely Beachhead in Bournemouth. But yeah, so we will have hit 5 stateside conventions this year. We're hoping to hit the same amount next year, maybe Gen Con next year. We're not doing it this year, but our stuff will be at Gen Con. So if you're going to Gen Con, look for Studio 2 stand, and you'll find they've got Be Like a Crow and Be Like a Cat there. this year. So yeah, so we can crack on with playing some of this game. Now, I don't know how far I'm going to get today because it's a fairly new game. So I'm looking forward to a fairly new expansion that I've written. The game's not new, but the expansion is. Um, I'm going to be using the new character sheet. I want to show you this actually, but I have put it all online as well. So let me explain to you a little bit about Korvus. So, well, before I do that, if you're not aware of Be Like a Crow, let me explain to you a little bit about Be Like a Crow. This one, this was the first game I ever wrote. Last year, it won the UKG's Role Playing Game of the Year award, which is really cool. We're still holding out for an Ennie, and we're going to put some things in this year, but this was a really nice bit of validation for this book. And it's it's my baby. It's the first thing I've ever written. I was going to do a Be Like a Cat play today, but I know that someone is doing one tomorrow. I've posted it. I've reposted them on my Twitter account, so you can find that there. But also I will give you their. I think they are Cat the Law Mistress. So I think it's KAT the LORE Mistress. So they're doing Be Like a Cat tomorrow, so you can see that being played, and I'll probably do it later. So yeah, I'm going to be playing this in a moment. Just another thing about this stream, I am going to pick this stream up now again every Wednesday, unless I'm in the States or somewhere. I'm not just going to play these games. I'm going to try and play a lot more games, so you can't see at the moment. I will try turn my laptop round. I was hoping that I could get this other camera working, but I'll try turn my laptop round because you will see collection of. Oh, you can't see them because of the mic. Hang on. More one shots. I'm going to try and promote as many as many people as I can really on the stream. Is the audio back up again though? I'm not going to move the laptop. I promise you I will not move the laptop again. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. All right. Well, anyway, that was my so I've got a zine I don't know, bookshelf kind of thing going on there. And I wish I did have the main the new camera, this thing, which seemed to be messing about with the brightness. I wish I had that working because I could show you all the unit that I have downstairs. This is my area where I write on the mezzanine, but there's a whole place where we manage the stock, etc. downstairs. Yeah, so let's crack on. Let me tell you a little bit about Korvus. So here you can see the cover. So Korvus is a scenario for Be Like a Crow. If you know Be Like a Crow, you'll know there are already several scenarios. There are 6 in the core rulebook, but there are also 4 more now, I believe. We've got a Cthulhu one. We've got Fistful of Feathers. We've got the Tales from the Crow's Nest was the latest one, and I think this one Korvus is this is the newest one that's not printed yet. We're waiting for it to come in, so it will be going out next week. So let me give you a bit of lore behind it, because Korvus it's inspired by Morkborg, but it's not set in the world of Morkborg. It's actually set in this place here that I can show you now, the Carrion Lands. So you can see it is very Morkborg-esque. It's a world that's filled with doom. It's a black ash and burnt world. But yeah, the big difference is it's shaped like a crow, and yeah, it doesn't use Morkborg rules, but it's got the same vibe. So let me tell you a little bit about the world, show you a few things about it, and then what we'll do is we'll go through creating a character, and we will try and get to playing a little bit of the game. We'll start off as a fledgling. I'll probably do this over the next few weeks, or well, depends. If I get killed, then I might create a new character, or I might play something else. So yeah, let's get to it. So I've shown you the cover. I wanted to go through the intro a little bit with you. Before I do that, if you're familiar with Be Like Crow, I want to show you the character sheet in this. So it is the same character sheet, but it's just a little bit more grungy, just to match the look of the game. There's also a new element on this character sheet called the auguries, which I will tell you a little bit about in a moment when we just go through some of the rules. But yeah, so let's have an introduction to this. So let me open this out. You need all the same stuff as you need to play Be Like a Crow, which is basically, if you're doing it just on your own, then probably a journal or something to type on, some way of recording it. When I do them on stream, I generally just narrate and make a few notes because, you don't want to sit there watching me writing. So, as I said, this is, you only need the deck of cards, pen, paper, something to record your story with. This is set in a place called the Carrion Lands. And I'll just read out what it says in the introduction. So, everything beneath these cracked skies is destined to rot or rust, and yet some persist through misguided hope, or in the hope they can cling on until everything returns to whence it came. You are born under the banner of the Midnight Shards, descendants of those created by the second entropy. Your duties are fixed and futile, to help the helpless and to guide those who remain animated in death to a peaceful an eternal resting place. So the whole concept around this game is that you are this expansion for the game is that you are members of crows called the Midnight Shard. Your lineage goes right back to the dawn of creation, and even though you know the world is going to end, you are ultimately trying to just bring some kind of I wouldn't say joy, but just some kind of peace and ease to the world. So I suppose you could call it a cozy game. um, but yeah, it is a game where you are trying to. I mean, inevitably you will end up killing some things, but the things you're killing are generally the bad guys. Oh, you can play it with some ambiguity as well. So yeah, let's get back into it. So from the book of Korvus. So this is the book where all the lore for this game comes from. For eons the darkness waxed and waned, searching for form and reason, eventually becoming black of heart and feather. In its new form it gazed into the void that surrounded it and saw its own reflection, wings, talons, and 3 heads. So these are the 3 heads. The first head proclaimed its name as the first. It screamed into the void, and from its dead meat breath a world was born. So the first head is the creator of all of this world that you are going to be playing in. The second head named itself Entropy. It pecked and cracked the sky of this new world. 1,000 shards of midnight scattered across the land, and it named them Corvidae. So the second head is the one that then creates life. It breathes life into the world, but it signifies change. So in effect, it could be like Chronos. It's like time. It's the only head that can change the world you live in. And then finally, the third name is named Chaos. Forever did it whisper into the air of entropy, relentlessly demanding an end to everything, everywhere. So, Chaos is the true trouble causer. The real, the one you probably, you're going to want to avoid. But so basically you have got one head that created the world, and it plays on the idea of the 2 basilisks in Morkborg, 2-headed basilisk. But in this case, you've got a 3-headed crow. One head is the creator. Another head is the mover through time. They create the thing that changes everything. And the third one is the one that pushes for the destruction of the world. So on the heads on either side, separated by the changing head, are the creators and the destroyers. So there's a good bit of conflict. They are external lore to the game. You're very unlikely to, unless you want to tell your story in that way, meet them. They live outside the realm of this game, but they are for the lore to give you the feel of how it plays out. Then of note in this game, and it is mentioned quite a lot, there is a piece of lore about the 6. So the 6 are the crows who uncovered this lore. So they found this lore, and then they decided to spread it across the world and record it. So in the 6th year of the 6th age, the 6 were hatched from a single obsidian egg, each fledgling weaned on one augury from the 3-headed one. When their wings matured, they each dispersed across the carrion land, scratching their prophecies into earth, bark, and bone. These messages became known as the auguries, an immutable story of what would follow. So, however you choose to play this game, and however you choose to how your story plays out. In essence, that was the way it was meant to be. Now, of course, you've got free choice to do what you want to do, but it plays with the concept of regardless of what you choose, that was how everything was due to fall. That was where everything was going to land. And yeah, the path to the end of this world was always set out, was always laid out by the three-headed ones. So you can have a lot of fun with that. Sepultura, just out of physical to be like a crow. Cheers from fans. Thank you very much. Sepultura, in case you're interested, there is a French version of Be Like a Crow. Just 1 second. If I can find it for you. So we do have this. So I mean, if you do want to refund and to get it from Neil Ludis, we have. I'm really sorry. La Voix de Korvus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but we do have a French version of it as well, and we have a German version coming soon. So we've got several more licenses on the way. So yeah, so that's the general concept behind the game. That's the lore behind the game, should I say? Let's move on to this, which is a guide to the Carrion Lands. So there are some major areas in the Carrion Lands, which you can see on the map. So we have I'll show you them on here because we can go through those as we come across them actually. So if I show you the map, so we have the land is in the shape of a crow, obviously. We have where its mouth is. We have the Dead Meat Estuary. This is like kind of like a pirate bay. It's a bay of villainy. There's a lot of bad things go down there. It's maybe the people who are in denial about the end of the world and just still feel vindicated by getting wealth through criminal means, or maybe they just see that as their way of passing the time before the world ends. We do have a major lake in here, Lake Black Eye. Lake Black Eye is actually a black lake, even though it's a white eye on here. That's just to differentiate. It's a lake filled with black viscosity. I've no doubt we will visit it if we survive long enough. We have the Scarp of Whispering Winds here, which is a big, long cliff edge, which I should be able to ping all these for you. In fact, I can do a focus ping. There we go. So if I come in like that. So yeah, the Scarp of the Whispering Winds. So this is a very volatile. The waves ride hundreds of meters higher up against cliffs that are twice as high. Over here, slightly inland to the west, we have the Roost, which is a large tower. I'm not going to tell you what's in there because I don't want to spoil the game. But in the Roost is actually a pilgrimage place for the ravens as well, of the ravens and crows and corvids who follow the Six. What website am I using? This is Roll20. I haven't been on Roll20 for a long time, but yeah, I'm using Roll20. I used to play with it. Used to use this a lot for D&D, so I have used other things, but I just find this one simplest. And also, I'm trying to get back into it because I do want to create a Be Like a Crow module for it, so you can just use it on here. Next up, we've got the Parliament City. So the Parliament City is probably the most it's the most civilized place, so to speak. It is full of the wealthy, the lords. Some of them are people who have come from the Dead Meat Estuary, who've made their way up in life and got enough coin to gain themselves entrance. It's a place where people vie rather futilely for power. There's no need for anybody to be seeking power in this world. But again, while they're there, they want to live in luxury. They want to see the time out, living their best life. Back up north again, we have the Valley of the Death from Above. So this is it once was a great graveyard, a really well kept graveyard for the lords of Parliament City. They were buried here. However, in these times, much of the graves have been dug up, they've been looted, or it's just what I describe as a buffet for the crows around here. There's it's in a state of disrepair, and the place is just littered with corpses. Up to the north east here we have the Midnight Reef. So the Midnight Reef is It's an area of absolutely that it goes all the way around from the north, all the way down pretty much to the sort of east, where you've then got a peninsula. This is just corals. It's unnavigable. There's nothing here apart from one port further down, Port Blackfeather. Um, this is a major port. It's one of the only places that really is accessible for ships. That passage can go easily to and from. Everywhere else is quite dangerous. So yeah, so that's that side of it. We've got the Bay of Murders here, which is it's just a very, very large bay. Again, there are some small towns and bays, depending on. I've left a lot of this world unmapped, so you can add your own villages, towns, places, dungeons, whatever you want to do with it. And right out here, we've actually got the Guano Atoll, which is a small round island. There's a few other islands that are unnamed for you to play with. Down in the south, we've got the Picker Peninsula. The Picker Peninsula is a weird area because I've kind of described this as a place that is actually, it's nicer than the rest of it. You know, it would be considered as the holiday resort of this place, even though it's still quite dark um, and scorched earth. But there's not a lot of people here. It's more sparse. It's a better place to go if you're not a people person. Let's have a look. Then we've got the Forest of Talons. So the Forest of Talons is a forest literally full of nightmares. You go in here, your worst nightmares will be revealed to you. And then finally, we've got the Three Claws, which are three three really large mountains that tower over everything. They're also very dangerous. There is rumored to be a lot of loot and treasure in these mountains. However, that's really moot now because whether there is loot, whether there was ever loot or not in there, there's a lot of loot now on the bodies of from the bodies of people who have adventurers who've tried to go in there looking for the treasures and basically not made it back out. So there's enough bodies to loot in there once you're in there. So that's the general world. I will show you now the auguries. So if you played Mort Borg, you will be familiar with the concept of the Psalms. There are 7 Psalms. So basically, this game, this expansion works in a very similar way to the way Mort Borg works, apart from the mechanics are different. But it does actually, as you play the game, you can trigger an apocalyptic event, and each one gradually brings you towards the end. The 7th augury is the one that basically ends the world, ends the game. Could be fun to write about though. So the auguries of Korvus work like this. If you played this before, you will know that you have a deck of cards with this game, and you go through the deck. Every time you deplete the play deck, then you basically just shuffle it and put it back where it was again and carry on. However, in this game, what you do is when you deplete the play deck, you shuffle and put them back and you draw the top card. If the top card is a spade or a club, then you trigger an augury. So you've got a 50% chance every time you go through the deck, you have got a 50% chance of doing that. You can change those rules if you want to make it a little bit more likely. So you could put that if you pick a court card, so a Jack, Queen, King, and maybe an Ace, it triggers an augury. So you can make it so that you can trigger a lot more things. So you could say black cards and Jack, Queen, King, or you can just automatically every time, if you want to go hardcore mode and bring the world into a place where it's going to end in very little time, then you can just every time you deplete the deck, you trigger an augury. And there are some things in the game that can trigger auguries as well. So that's it. So I think we're going to start by creating a character. So I have got an example of the character sheet. However, let's have a look. Let's find the character sheet. I've got this. This is the character sheet I'm going to be using because it just makes sense. It's a lot easier to work with in this. But here's the character sheet. So you can see we've got all the same things. We have a life cycle stage. So in Be Like a Crow, you have got 4 stages of life cycle that you can go through. You start off as a fledgling, where you are very weak and vulnerable. You go to a juvenile and then to an adult. So those are your 2 strongest stages. And then you go to an old crow, which is more of a a freestyle. You know, you've got a lot of things going for you when you're an old crow. You can command your own troop of crows. You can retire. You know, you can hang your talons up. You've got a species. So in this game, you can play crows, rooks, ravens, jackdaws, magpies. You've got 5 different birds you can play. You give your bird a name. You play in a setting. So in this case, it will be Korvus. So that's kind of a bit redundant on here, but it's just a throwback from the old character sheets. You have your objects that you carry. So as you go around, you can pick up objects. You can only carry 2 objects at a time. So sometimes it's a case of dropping and going back for things. You see on this character sheet, you've also got your auguries. And then you've got all your skills, which are kind of built into categories. So because sometimes you can get, for instance, the concept of advantage and disadvantage of this is called authority and penalties. And sometimes you can get an authority in a skill, in a whole skill group. So it just makes it easy to say you have got authority in anything to do with travel and exploration. You might only get authority in flying or hopping or searching. So the game, you know, it has different levels of offering you bonuses and disadvantages. All right, so let's what about owls and crows? Owls hate each other. You listen, you can't get ahead of me. There are owls in this game. Don't you worry. There are owls in this game. I have not left them out. So let's have a look. So we'll start by creating a character. So I'm going to go through character creation. I will try and make it quick. So I guess the first question I'd have for everybody that's in the chat: would you want me to play a? So I can play a carrion crow. I can play a carrion crow. I can play a magpie. I can play a rook or a raven. It's not showing up very well. Or a jackdaw. So what would you like me to play? We've got 1 vote in for magpie. I'll leave that open for a minute. We've got 1 vote in for rook. I'm probably going to have to roll a dice. A rook. Rook's good. Magpie. Any more thrown in there? A jackdaw. I need a D3. Someone's gonna have to throw something else in the chat. Mimic everything. Magpie all day. We got 2 magpies. 2 votes for magpies. I'm not sure. I think I played a magpie on the Cthulhu one and got killed. So I had to have a twin. I literally got killed in 10 minutes. So, okay. So, No Way Home. Thank you for that. I might let you cast the deciding vote. Oh, we got 2 jackdaws. Could be a coin toss. Okay, I'll just leave it. Right. I'll just leave it 1 more minute. Dark setting like this feels. Yeah, I think Dancers in the Ruins. Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, we got 3 jackdaws. Okay. I don't think I've played a jackdaw before, as in on the stream. So that's probably where we'll go. Jackdaw seems fun as well for sort of like I totally get that Dance in the Ruins. It's Carrion Crow and Raven are definitely on brand in this setting, but I'm gonna go with Jackdaw. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So let's fill in the character sheet. So it's just a few facts about the jackdaw. So the jackdaw's Latin name. So I'm reading all this. All this stuff is in the core rulebook. So I'm gonna fill this in from here. So let's get rid of all this and let's go edit. So you can throw some names in the chat while I'm doing this if you like. Is there any names for my and don't not Jack, please. So we're gonna go with Jackdaw. I'll make these bold actually. So we've got no ogres at the moment. So we're gonna start as a fledgling. I just put a pencil in that. We got no injuries. Yeah. So throw some names in. So while you're throwing any names in the chat, Millie's a nice name. So while you're throwing some names in the chat, we're going to tell you a bit about the jackdaw. So the jackdaw is called the Korvus monidula. Its length is 34 centimeters. These are just average stats. Its length is 34 centimeters. It has a wingspan of 70 centimeters. So just to give you some perspective, its wingspan 70 centimeters. The Ravens is 120 to 150. So a raven's wingspan is at least twice as much. It weighs 220 grams, which is the same weight as Be Like a Cat, the hardback rule book, which is a strange piece of knowledge. Monterey is a nice name. Monterey and Millie. The M's, I think. Let's go for a name with M. If you're going to throw a name in, throw it with M, because we got two M's. So I'm gonna stick to an M. Cow. Oh, Cow is a nice name as well. I think I'll have that as the second name. So yeah, one of the smaller relatives of the crow. What this bird lacks in size, it makes up for it in social skills and determination. Not only are jackdaws identifiable by their size, but they also have a distinctive silver grey hood and pale eyes. They nest in chimneys, cracks in brickwork, rock crevices, and tree holes. Their diet is insects, young birds, and eggs, fruit, seeds, and scraps. They're actually one of the nicer eaters of the crow family, because some of them are the carrion crow will literally eat anything. Characteristics: jackdaws are sociable and will readily form friendships with other birds, animals, and even humans. They communicate with other species using eye contact to indicate emotions or locations. They have a strong sense of social status with birds who take a partner being considered of a higher rank. Same-sex marriages are not unusual, and in any relationship, both partners are considered equals. Their habitats are woodlands, parks, coast, and urban, or dying worlds, in this case. I'm going to show you something now. This got delivered to me at UKG. If you don't like this kind of thing, I'm really sorry, but this was ethically done by a taxidermist in the UK. An amazing, I think she's called Sarah, not the crow, the taxidermist. But this is a jackdaw that we had at UKG, and you can see they've got these amazing like blue eyes. So yeah, this is so cool. And I know some people have an aversion to this kind of thing, but it really is. I won't touch it too much because I know you're not supposed to touch them, but it's so soft. I might bring this to Essen. And in fact, if we're playing a jackdaw, everybody that suggested that, thank you, because we now actually have an actual jackdaw we have probably the world's best mini to play with. All right, so I'm gonna stick the jackdaw back up here. There we go. Okay, right. So, creating your jackdaw. Oh, they're amazing, aren't they? So where we are, our unit's in an industrial estate, and there are, just before I started this stream, I was hoping they would stay around because we had loads of crows just making so much noise. But they've gone. There's a lot of beef between the crows and the seagulls around here. The first time we went to Essen as well, which was really cool. So just before we get started with this, we were staying in a place called Mulheim, just outside of Essen, and it was there were just crows everywhere. And then the first time we went to Seattle and took Be Like a Crow to Seattle, I was just gobsmacked at how many crows there were there. It was like a really good omen, and we sold out of Be Like a Crow, so it was it was they're definitely good. I'm still trying to befriend one. I haven't got any of them yet, but we keep trying putting bits of food out and things, so we'll see if you bring that to Essen, you better put it in a glass dome. Yeah, it's not supposed to be touched. The other thing about it as well is why I think that might be a bad idea is the EU and customs and things, because it's I know you're not supposed to bring animals, but I and it's a dead animal, but I don't want to I just don't want to risk it. Hey, find the word. You haven't missed too much. I've just been babbling on about my new game. We're just creating a character for Korvus. I have gone through a few things, and you did miss the show and tell with the jackdaw up there. So we are playing a jackdaw. So let's go create this jackdaw. So starting at fledgling stage, in each stage you advance, you can add 2 ticks to any one skill. So let's go make a realistic jackdaw. Trying to befriend crows at the amphitheatre. I think I saw your photographs as well of Pastor of your crow. You're feeding. Were you feeding the crows, but covertly feeding them? Or are we not allowed to talk about that? Right, let's have a look. We got a jackdaw, so we're gonna go do the skills. So we can choose 2 skills. So let's try and make them a sort of realistic jackdaw. They're sociable, readily form friendships with animals, and other. Well, so let's have a look. At starting at the fledgling stage, and each stage you advance, you can add 2 ticks to any one skill. Yeah, okay. So we can add 2 ticks to any one skill. So let's pick. I think we're going to do. I don't know whether this is going to do us really well in this, but we're gonna do befriend as 2. I'm not sure how well a befriending things will work in this setting, but we can find out. It may go to our disadvantage. Let's have a look. And then you can also add 1 tick to a single skill from each of your main categories. So let's try that. So we'll pick 1 from each of our main categories. So we're going to do, I think I want to add probably, let me see what we said about them. Sociable, readily form. They communicate with other species. Yeah, they're very sociable. I'm not sure how good at, I'm going to do search. Or would I do navigate? It's search or navigate in this category. All the rest, so basically these are modifiers that I add onto any checks I make. All the rest just have 0 modifiers. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I'll stick with that. So let's go down to the others. So for combat, I guess I'm small. Am I agile? I think I'm going to pick... So I think I'm going to pick evade. Because I feel like I'm going to want to get out of fights more than I'm going to want to get into them. Oh, yeah, that probably works. So you can add 1 tick. And then my other one... I'm going to make myself versatile. Use tools, always a handy one to have. I know that's a bit metagaming, but it is a good one to have. And then also, you can also add 1 additional tick to befriend, mate, signal, and evade, and sing at fledgling stage. So we can add 1 to befriend. So our befriend skill is really good. That hopefully will help us out. Mate. Signal. Evade. So we can push our evade up to 2, which might make up for the befriend not being of much use, I guess. And sing. So we're good at singing as well. That's nice. Okay. So we've done that. Oh, I got special abilities. I'm a small target. Whenever I'm hit by an attack, I can choose to make an extra evade and not take injuries if I succeed. Okay. Let's have a look. So this does stand me in good stead. So some of these they've all got different characteristics, which allows you to play, in different styles. So the I guess the jackdaw's a bit of a bard. We'll probably try and avoid a fight and probably try talk their way around things, or befriend their way out of problems. I just don't know how well it's going to work in this world, because I think everybody's got their backs up in this world. So let's write that down somewhere. We should have another. Let's insert 1. Yeah, I'll probably keep skills up there. Actually, no, I'll write this at the top because I forget to do this. So I can make an evade check with authority when I am hit and take no damage. Okay, so I think that's us set up for now. Hey, hi, and Lonesome, thanks for joining us. So yeah, let's close that down. So I have got no objectives yet. I've got no items carried. So let's start the game. So when I start the game, I do start with an objective. So I have to I create an objective out of the prompts from Korvus now. So I use Be Like a Crow for the prompts to move around, and I use the Korvus expansion for the prompts for objects. As you can see, there, characters, locations, objectives, and objects. So I am placing my crow to begin with, my little fledgling. Here, I'm going to zoom right in on this world. In the Forest of Talons. So here I am. So I'm born on the edge of the Forest of Talons. Hang on, I didn't give myself a name. So the name I'm going to go with is... not that one. This one. So I think we're going to go with Millie Gao. I quite like that. So that's the name of our jackdaw, Millie Cow, which is, we have 2 of you in there that threw that in. Hey, Ping. So let's get started then. So we're gonna start. Let's start telling our story. So we are born into the Forest of Talons. It's a place of nightmares. However, we are born on the outskirts. So much of our younger life here, we will not see anything. We'll be able to hone our skills from safety just around the outskirts. Very few people travel through this forest. So we don't encounter a lot of people. However, we do get a chance to develop our social skills with the other birds around, our family, our other jackdaw friends. So I'm going to say there's a little there's a collective of jackdaws. Let's find out what they're called actually. The collective name for jackdaws. A clattering. That's a great name. So this is where our clattering of jackdaws exists in this world, just on the outskirts of the Forest of Talons. So I'm probably going to move myself up here rather than be directly in it. I'm going to be close to it. Fantastic. Okay, so here we go. First thing we need to do is generate an objective. So everything in this game is powered by the cards. So we're going to get the objectives open. So we're going to draw a card. So the first card we draw is the Ace of Spades. So I do actually believe that's a card where we can either draw again or... So generate an objective of your own or draw again. So we're going to draw again. 5 of Spades. So our first objective. Children are disappearing from the village near location. So let me just write some things down. So we've got children disappearing. So as with everyone in my clattering, we have to prove ourselves to go out into the world. We are given a task to do, an objective to do. And one of the elders of our clattering has approached my parents and said that it's time. It's time for me to go out into the world. And as reticent as they are to let me do so, they know that the 6 have said this is the way that it should be. So, I've been told that children are disappearing from a village near location. We'll find out where that location is in a minute. And there's a rumour that a character is involved. Investigate and see if you can find any of the missing younglings and put a stop to the disappearance. So we need to pick a location and we need to pick a character. So children are going missing from... So let's pick another 5 of diamonds. 5 of diamonds would be... Here is the Midnight Reef. So we drew the Midnight Reef. So we will type this up so we know our objective. And we need to see who's to blame for this happening. So I can leave all these open actually. Let's find out who's to blame for this occurring. So let's draw another card. So the card we drew is the King of Spades. One of the 6th of the 6th year of the 6th age flee. So I am going to keep this here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do much about it, but we're going to write it out. So we're going to put it in our book. So my father tells the elder that this is sending me out to be murdered. There's no way I can do this if it's true. However, they insist that I at least go and investigate and see if there's any truth behind it. So maybe it's not the 6 of the 6. This is just part of this rumor. So let's have a look. So go and also, if it is this one of the 6 of the 6 of the 6, that would mean that the end times are definitely coming and on their way, because one of the prophecies is that they will return to the Carrion Lands. So go and investigate the Midnight Reef. Go and investigate the region of the Midnight Reef. Oh, I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to put capital in. Midnight Reef. To see if you can find out why children are disappearing. I won't make it dark. Obviously, this game can be quite dark, but I will keep it relatively light. Why children are disappearing. The rumors are I'll do it in short term. The 6th of the 6th. Oh, this is going to get tedious. Of the 6th. I already thought it was tedious when I wrote the book in full form. Right, but I enjoyed it. Okay, and as is dictated by our law, we always have to underline the 6 of the 6 of the 6 for some reason. Because whenever it was written in the dirt or scratched anywhere, the crows underlined it. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's see. We need to start moving. So this is the first time I am going to come out of my home. So my father tells me that the way I must go is to head north, I believe, because I need to head up to, let's just bring this down a bit. I need to head up north to get to the Midnight Reef. Wow, that's some journey, and I probably end up picking up some more objectives on my way there. So let's start heading there. So how this game works is every time you move to a new hex, you will draw a card for an event. So I'm going to move 1 hex. So I'm going to begin my flight north. I'm probably going to skirt around the claws because I can see the claws from here, but I've heard things about things that are there. They were always used. The claws were always used in stories to make me behave. And one of the rumors is that, or one of the stories I heard is that there's a raven there that's the size of a human. So I definitely want to avoid that. So let's have a look. Let's draw another card. So I'm going to turn to my events in flight now. So 4 of Hearts. So I'll read these out because they're in this book here. So we have events in flight and events on land as we travel. So the first thing that happens to me as I begin flying, keeping myself close to the coast, is a magpie soon joins me in flight. This magpie tells me that I can find an object just nearby in meta purposes the next hex that I visit. If I visit it, if I go there, I will have to land to pick it up, which means I will have to take 2 turns in that hex. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to go and see if there's something that could help me, because I do know that I'm still a fledgling. I'm not very strong. So I'm going to fly, and also I'm very little, so I need to rest. So I'm going to land here, just sort of north of the Bay of Murders. So I can land here. I can look out to sea. I land on in a small sort of outcrop of rocks. Take a look out to the Bay of Murders. The sea is just a dark grey colour. It's choppy here, but I hear that it's a lot worse on the west coast. So yeah, let's see what this object is that I find. So I'm going to land here, and I'm going to draw a card for the object. 10 of Clubs, which yields A hook with a dead meat bait. I can swoop over water and make a used tool check to catch a fish that can be eaten to heal 2 injuries. So a hook with dead meat bait. So let's add that to our character sheet. Where are we? There's Millie. So my items, so I've got a hook. What I'll do is as well, I'll put these as lists. Start here. This should even this out a little bit. A hook with a dead meat bait. Use over water. Let me just double check what I had to do there. A hook with a dead meat bait. Use tool check. So if I make a successful use tool check to catch a fish, which will, how many does that heal? Fish should probably heal 2 injuries. Okay, big fish. All right, that's cool. Use over water with use tool to catch a fish to eat. And then I'm going to put heals 2. Okay, let's try that. Heals 2. All right, so that's cool. So we're going to take that. Now we are on land. We have to take a couple of turns on land. So let's see. First up, let's draw another card. 10 of diamonds. So let's see what happens on land. Events on land. So the 10 of diamond. So the weather begins to take a turn for the worse. So the storm blows in from the Bay of Murders. I'm outdoors, so I need to make a search check to find a place to shelter. Otherwise, I'm going to have to wait the storm out here. Or I'm going to press on taking an injury. It would mean me taking 2 more turns on land from here now, so that'd be an extra 2 turns. So I may press on and take the injury if I don't find a place to stay. So let's so we need to make a search check. So let me show you how search checks work. So we need to draw a target card, and then we need to draw a let's have a look at my character. So my search is, what did I say? I think I was going to add 1 to search anyway. I never added that one. All right, so my search is 1. So we're going to draw a target. So the target to beat is a queen. So I'm going to have to draw a queen or above. Otherwise, I press on and take an injury. That's a 2. So I am going to stay out in the open and press on. However, I am going to take 1 injury. So this bad weather, I get cold, I get shivery, and I start to get a little bit exhausted. It's my first time out away from the safety of the clattering. Let's continue. We draw another event on land, which yields a 9 of hearts. So let's see what our next event on land is, and then we can leave here. So my next event on land is I meet a character who offers to carry me to the next hex. I can travel there without making another check. That's very fortuitous. So that actually feeds in well to our story. So I'm sat, all my feathers are all sodden. I'm out in the open. I can't find anywhere to get shelter from this horrible, like, sort of black, dirty rain that's just like hammering down on me. However, I hear a sound, and I think for sure now I'm at my most vulnerable. I think this is it. You know, this is I've only made it just, you know, several miles away from my home, and my story's already going to be over. However, one of the 6 of the 6 age. So I'm going to rule this as the rain suddenly stops because the 6 are godlike creatures. So maybe one of them's watching over me. I see an apparition of 6 crows above me. They fly across the sky, and as they fly, it appears that the clouds seem to disperse and follow them. The sky's clear, and the wind picks up, and I can take to the skies again and fly to the next hex. So I can fly along the coast. Clear skies all the way. Hello, Tetsunoyu. So we're going to draw another one on flight. So I'm back in flight again after suffering one injury under that horrific weather. So let's draw another card and see what we find in this next hex. So we're now in flight. So we get the 7 of spades in flight. A conspiracy of ravens are performing an airborne healing ritual. Join them to make a dance and sing check. If you succeed, you can remove an injury check and they will gift you with an object. So I see 6 ravens flying around, and I suddenly realized that maybe I didn't see any of the 6. Maybe I was just cold. I was damp, tired, and probably just hallucinating. But there are 6 ravens here. So they see me and they see the state I'm in, and they offer to perform a healing ritual with me. So I'm gonna make a ritual check. I'm gonna see what my best skill is to use for this. I forgot to put I didn't save this when I put these in, which is really annoying. So I had 3 befriend. I'll just do them now. I had 3 befriend. I had 1 evade. I had 2 evade. And yeah, let's have a look. I'm probably going to have to switch to my other mic as well because my battery's running low on this. So if you just give me 1 second, I am going to switch to another mic. Just let me know if you can hear me. I've had to switch to another mic. It won't be as good as... Yeah, just let me know if you can hear me. The sound won't be as good now as the other one because my laptop was running out of steam, unfortunately. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so let's carry on with the story anyway. So, and I was going to do... I think I was going to do sing. No, I was going to do use 2. So we'll have use 2. Right, okay. I forgot to save them changes. Right, that's better. Now I've got all my skills in. So, here's what we're going to do. We are going to make a target. We're going to do a sing check. So we need to make our target. So we're going to... These 6 ravens begin to circle around me in the air. And I glide on the thermals. I glide on the wind that's beneath their wings. They're very tight, and it manages to keep me adrift. And as I do, I'm going to start singing. I'm going to start singing a lament. So the target I have to beat is 2, and I get a 9. So that's great. So I feel this energy come from all of these birds. It kind of the sky sort of crackles between us. And then I feel all this energy come back into my body, and I'm going to heal 1, which means I can take away my 1 injury. So let's remove that injury, which is good, considering I had such a bad start. Excellent. So let's move on. I'm going to... oh, they're going to give me an object as well. That's cool. So let's find out what the object is. So we get a 9 of spades. The object they're going to give to me... I believe I already have 1 object, so I can only carry 2. So the object they're going to give to me is 9 of spades. Is a lock of hair from a heretic. Okay. I'm not going to ask them where they got this from. Let's try and make this a bit wider. So we now have also a lock of hair from a heretic. We'll see what we can do with that later. If not, we can just drop it and take something else. But I'm now fully laden as a crow. All right, let's fly to the next. Now I'm going to take the coastline here. We're going to fly to the next one, and we're going to draw another card. So we're still moving north to investigate the Midnight Reef. So we've drawn a Jack of Diamonds. So we're in flight. You become lost. Make a navigate check. If you fail, you must remain in your current location to take another turn. Here, there's a thick black mist in this area. It's impossible to see where I am, and although I sense I'm near the sea, I'm not sure entirely how far away I am, which direction I need to be going in. I don't know. I don't want to be travelling further out to sea because I am only young and my wings will only take me so far. So we are going to make a navigate check. So let's do this. So our target for the navigate check is an ace. So aces are low in this game, so that's cool. So we should be able to do that. So our navigate checks passes. So I pump furiously with my wings and managed to drive myself. I got very slightly out to sea, but as the mist dissipates, I managed to bring myself back in land. So I'm going to put myself just on the edge of where land is and the sea in this hex here. Which kind of fits in with the story. I'm sort of halfway over the sea. I'm kind of just over the sea, but I can see the land, so I'm not totally lost, which is really cool. And we are going to draw another event. So we've drawn a joker, so I'm going to give that joker to myself because we can use these as wild cards. We'll deal with that later. So I'm going to take the joker out and just put it to there. 2 jokers. What are the chances? Okay, we got 2 jokers now. So 7 of clubs. Okay, so I can keep both those jokers. Those are so cool. So let me just go back to the rules and I will tell you quickly what you can do with jokers. They're pretty cool. Using jokers, page 24. So, using jokers. Whenever you draw a joker from the deck, you can choose to save it for later or play it immediately. You can play a joker to achieve one of the following. Automatically win 1 combat attack, automatically succeed on a skill check, heal 2 injuries, or discard a drawn card and draw again. Okay, so that's the things that I can do with those. So quite fortunate. So let's keep moving. So 7 of clubs. So let's find out what happens in this. We're still in flight. I'm probably going to need to land in a while because I feel like my little guy is going to be getting very tired. So I know I am. Events in flight. 7 of clubs. A conspiracy of ravens are performing an airborne healing ritual. So we've got a black 7 again. So what we can do is we can. So the rules of this are like this. If you draw and you've got a prompt you've done again, you can just draw again. So I'm not going to spend a joker on this one. I could spend a joker and change the prompt, but I'm not going to do. I'm just going to draw another one and see what happens here. So 3 of diamonds. You spot an object on the ground in location. To take it, land and make a use. Oh, you spot an object on the ground, so it's lodged in something. So I seen the roots of a sort of a dead tree stump. It's like blackened and grizzled. It looks like at some point it's been burnt. So from above I can see that there's something glints. Something catches my eye. So I'm probably going to land here and try and dislodge it. However, if I can't do that, I need to make a use tool. Let's land and see what this object is. So let's draw a card. So the object is 7 of diamonds. A cursed eye patch. Oh, sorry, 7 of diamonds. A demon's eyeball. Use this to find the current location of anything. Do you know what? I might... This is going to be a bit squishy, isn't it? If I try and get this out... What on earth a demon's eyeball is doing lodged in a tree stump, I don't know. I feel like this is probably the scene of some battle that I'm glad that I did not witness. But I think... when I get near this eyeball... and I kind of... firstly think maybe it's a nice little tasty snack. When I go to peck at it... even though it's lodged in, I notice that I can see another area, another place. Like I get a vision in my head. So I'm going to... I can see the Midnight Reef. So whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I want to see, whatever I want to be near, I can see. So I figured out that this is no ordinary eyeball. Maybe I don't want to eat this eyeball. Maybe I do want to try and get this eyeball. So I'm going to try dislodge it without squidging it. And sorry if you have an aversion to squidgy eyes. So let's do the... so we've got a 4 to beat. And our search is 1. No, sorry, we want to do use tool. Our use tool is 1, so we need to roll. We need to pull out a 3 or a more. 3 or more. 2. Oh my word. So unfortunately, and you may want to cover your ears now, I put my beak around this eyeball as gently as I can, but it just pops and splats everywhere. So there's just eye goo all over the roots of this branch. So I'm not going to be able to take this object. I am going to be stuck with the heretics, piece of hair, whatever I can use that for. I'm going to take another turn in here on land before I can fly. Let's see what we come across. Queen of Diamonds. So we're on land now. You meet a swan who has an object in their possession and will trade it for your objects. In keeping with this game, this is a black swan and has an object, and they will trade it for one of your objects. Oh, right, let's find out what object this swan has got. So let's draw. So this swan has got in its possession a pouch of silver nuggets. That tracks. Can be used to trade or make social checks with advantage. This swan sees that I have got in my beak, just hanging out of the side, a little bit of heretic's hair. It seems very interested in this hair. I'm going to actually try and befriend it and see if I can figure out. I'm going to make a social check and see if I can force myself to think of some reason why it wants this heretic's hair. So let's do a social check. So what's the target? So the target is 10. So I'm going to ask this swan why. I'm going to try befriend it. Or do I signal to it? I'm going to try signal to it because it's a different species. So I'm going to rule that only corvids can talk to corvids. Let's try and signal to it that I'm wanting to know why it wants this. It's an 8, which means I fail. It's not giving up why it wants this this lock of heretics hair, this sort of silvering lock. However, it is willing to offer me a pouch full of silver nuggets. So I am going to swap that with the swan. It's a black swan, by the way. I don't think I said that, but in keeping with the theme of the game, with red eyes. So I'm going to get rid of the lock of hair from the heretic. And I'm going to switch that out for a bag of silver nuggets to trade with. That may come in handy later on, especially if I've got a difficult befriend check to make. So we will keep that. All right, let's we'll just go about another, I think we'll go about another 5 minutes, and then we will end this session up. I'll do a little bit of waffle at the end, and we will choose a winner. I'll tell Sarah when to do that whilst I waffle for a few minutes. So let's take another, I suggest we take off now because I still need to get up to the Midnight Reef. I've still only got one objective. So I'm going to fly back in land now I know where I'm going. So let's fly up to here. So to my right I see, to my east I see a big harbour. It has like crumbling stone walls around the jetties. The ships in there are in a state of disrepair, and yet they're still floating. Seems to be a lot going on there, but it's of no interest to me. I still, as of yet, have not had any contact with humans, so I'm quite happy to stay in the air. So let's see what happens in this square anyway. So we're in flight now. Create your own event or draw again from this table. I will not. Well, I say the event is me just seeing all these humans. So this is the first time I've ever seen humans. So that kind of goes in with my storyline. So we'll take that as the event. I'm not going to be landing and attempting to discuss anything with any of them. I could do. You could do if you were playing this. I'm going to continue onwards. I'm going to start heading inland slightly. I could always stop by the Valley of Death from above and see if there's any tasty corpses to snack on there. Especially if I pick up any injuries on the way there. Let's do another event. Like another event in flight. Oh my word, I'm drawing a lot of aces and kings, so we need to draw again on that one because that's a create or an event or draw again from this table. So 3 of hearts. This is another use. Spot an object in the ground. Use a tool to dislodge it. Right, so we've got 2. I'm not sure how well these cards were virtually shuffled. To take it, land and make a use tool check to dislodge it from where it is trapped. If you fail, the object breaks. Alright, let's see what the object is. I could just fly over it if I wanted, actually. A seagull, no. A key with rail teeth. This will open anything that's locked. Interesting. I mean, that sounds like the kind of thing I would want. But it means I'm going to have to drop the nuggets or the hook. I want to keep the hook because it's really good while I'm out at sea. I can try and fish. So if I do get hurt badly, I can try catch some fish. What do you think? Should I get the... I might leave this to you. Do I drop... Do I try and get this... Let's have a look again. So do I try and get this key that I can see wedged, or do I just keep going? Fly on. Yeah, I'm just thinking a key that unlocks anything though. Does seem pretty good. Okay. Let's fly on then. We know where it is, so I'm going to make a note of what was there. Let's make a note of what was there. Key. So there was a key here. So I'm going to make a note of that in case we... And I'm going to put... Can we put... We can't put anything on it, say it's lodged in a tree stump. I guess we can remember that, can't we? I'll make a note of it. Okay. So if I was journaling this, I'd probably make a note of that. A literal skeleton key. I'm going to say it looks exactly like a skeleton. Right, let's take another event in flight and see what we can do. And then we'll probably do one more after this. And then we'll see. We've been very lucky. We haven't come across anything yet. Anything that's tried to kill us. You are hungry. Land and make a search check. Land and make a search check for food. On a failure, you find a few morsels, but not enough to sustain your energy. Take 1 injury. Okay, and then we've got to take another turn. So we'll... yeah, let's land then. So we're going to be landing and we're going to try find some food. So we're going to make a search check. The target for our search check is 7 and we get a jack. So we're fine. So we don't take any injuries. But while we're here, we're going to rest. We're going to hop about on land a little bit. And then we're probably going to find some shelter here. And this is where we will finish up the session. But let's do one more turn here. So what do we... 5 of clubs. So we're on land. Soon as I land, I step on what kind of looks like some mud, and I slip because this is the first time actually I've landed. I've practiced. Oh no, it's not the first time I've landed, but it's the first time I've landed on mud. So I skid, and I skid along the ground a bit, and unfortunately I fall down a hole. I'm going to take 1 injury. And then I'm going to try and take a fly check to get out of this hole. Great. So we're going to take 1 injury there. And then we're going to make a fly check to try and get out of this hole. So the target is 3. And so, yeah, so I furiously pump my little wings to get out of this hole. So I don't become fatigued. I can leave the hole, and on my next turn, but I have to take 1 more turn on the ground. So I managed to get back out of this like pit. So I'm going to say that it's a pit that's got spikes in it, and there's all like some kind of blood which I sense as animal blood on the spikes, and some blood that's, I don't know, doesn't seem human. I'm not sure. I haven't met many humans though. I haven't met any humans. Right. I'm going to make my next... You can leave the hole on your next turn. Well, I left the hole without any of that, so that's fine. So I'm going to take 1 more on land, and then we're going to see what happens here. 8 of hearts. You find an object that is broken. Make a use tool check to see if you can fix it. So let's see what the object is first. So the object is a locket containing a picture of a demon. So the locket is in 2 pieces, and the chains, as is the chain. Where is? Kind of like this. Let's see if we can fix it. And then I guess, I wonder what I could do with a locket. We could just see if we can fix it and then just leave it there. I'm going to try and fix it anyway. And then I'm going to search for somewhere to spend the night here. And then we'll carry on towards the Midnight Reef next week. So let's do that check. So we're going to do a use tool. I know I've got 1, so I've got to get a jack or above. Hey. So, yeah, I get a queen. So I managed to fix this locket. I am going to leave the locket here. In this one, and we will come back for it later. I'm going to search for somewhere to stay for the night. Let's do a search check. 6 is the target. 6, so I do manage to find somewhere to do a search check. Okay, that's brilliant. So I'm going to leave it here. So I'm going to write down in my notes what we did. Sarah's going to start the draw for the winner while I just quickly go through everything else. So I'm going to get rid of that. So let's just write down edit. Where we left off. I found a place to sleep. Actually, let's do this in just... I found myself a place to sleep, nestled in the roots. Oh no, I'll tell you what. Beneath the discarded helmet of a human fighter. Human warrior. Warrior sounds better, doesn't it? Warrior. There we go. So we're gonna sleep underneath underneath a helmet. I also didn't save this. I have another special skill. So when hit in combat, I can make an evade check with authority and take no damage on a success. There we go. Okay, that's it. That's fine, right? So Sarah is going to yeah. So that was a bit of fun. I haven't played. What's kind of strange is I haven't played Be Like a Crow for a long time because yeah, I've been doing other things. So I've only just got back into it recently to write this expansion. So you can get that expansion now. You can pre-order the physical copy. I'll tell you. Okay, thank you very much. I'll write that down. I can. If you want to screenshot and just send it to me now, and I can get it. There we go. That's the better way to do it. Then I can show it. If you WhatsApp it to me, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I do have a winner. Right. Okay. So yeah. So you can get it now online. That book. That's fine. It is coming out next Friday. Tomorrow as well, I'm going to put the PDF up. So anybody that's bought the physical book, we are going to send them a PDF of it as well. Yeah, so that's all there is to say about Korvus. This is the game I'm playing at the moment. You can also get, if you want to know, even though it's Merkborg inspired, it's not a Merkborg game. So it does actually need the core rule book. You can also get that as a PDF, or you can get it as this. There's also French copies of it, and you can see behind me next to the jackdaw there is an Italian version of it as well in hardback. So if you just search for Be Like a Crow or Le Voix de Corvus in French, you can get it in your own language if need be. And we do have a Mandarin simplified Chinese versions coming out, and we're currently in talks for a German version, a Spanish version, a Polish version. So there's lots of different versions of it coming out. Right, I'm going to quickly go through before I do the winner. The things I will end on showing you this again, then we'll say who won it. So yeah, this is coming out next week. It's Once We Were Gods. It's a solo Dungeons and Dragons game. What's really good about it is you can play it on your own, which is really cool. It's kind of like a swamp crawl where you're looking for pieces of a god. But you can also use the SRD, so you don't have to spend any money with Wizards of the Coast. You can actually play this with everything that you can get for free online. And it's a 16-page booklet. It's full of prompts. It's full of really cool little mechanics and rules. It's also got some advice at the back on some resources for solo play. So if you want to try creating your own D&D solo play games, there's some stuff in there. So, you know, if, like me, you don't have a mass of friends, it's really cool. Or you just like to play games on your own sometimes. Next up is, I'm writing something for this. Not right now, but we passed a stretch goal for this. Ironheart. Jade Dragon is also going to be writing something for this. So this is done by Parabel Games. It's currently on Kickstarter, Ironheart. Worth taking a look at. I'm writing a story circuit for it. But in this game, you play two characters. So it's a solo journaling RPG, but you play a mech and you play the pilot of the mech. So that's a lot of fun. Game I've got coming up. Did all this at the start, but I'm going to do it all again anyway. This is coming out in September once I've got Punky's Dead out to backers. This is Wise in the Woods. This is a collaboration between myself and an amazing artist called Simon J. Curd. You can find him on simonjcurd.com. It's a game where you play these amazing little creatures who have emerged from who knows where in an abandoned Earth. So it's kind of like set in the 80s. Earth has been abandoned. There's no reason why. No one knows why. But these creatures are now finding all the things that are left behind and upcycling them in order to solve their own problems. So it's kind of a cozy game with a little bit of a dark tint. Quickly show you the creatures. Here they all are. These are the creatures you can play. There are going to be minis for them. And maybe a plushie. I've been asked for a plushie for that one. But yeah, that's coming out in September. And you can follow along at, if you can see that, wiresinthewoods.com. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so excited about this one. I missed the name of the Once We Were Gods. Yeah, Once We Were Gods isn't available until... We're going to put the PDF up tomorrow, and it's going to be next week. It's also available at the moment in our Critical Crate. So this game is going out in our Critical Crate, and so if you purchase the crate version of this, you will actually get next week. You will get a little box with a set of dice that match the theme. There's a map with it. There's some resin. So there's some resin markers for the bits of the gods. So you get a little tray to put the things in. So there's like a little play set comes with it made out of resin, which is really cool. So yeah, so you can get that. So you can buy it in two different formats. You will be able to get it as PDF next week, sorry, because we have to get the crates out. You'll be able to get it as PDF once everybody's got their crates next week. We'll then put this up as physical copies, just as this, with a little. It comes with a fold out map, so it actually comes with a little. Just a printed player map that you can. It's just got a swamp printed on it, so you can play it. But you can use your own maps with it. That's fine. And finally, anybody that is waiting, this is coming out soon. Punk is Dead. These are the coasters that some of you will be getting. So we got these little. That's a mock board game. It is available for pre-order on the site now. It's an apocalyptic songwriting game. So you play a punk band in an apocalyptic version of the UK. It's got loads of fantasy monsters, loads of mad stuff in it. And yeah, what else? I think that's it. I think we'll probably tell you who's won this. So I'm just going to show you this now. So this is what we're giving away. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. Hang on, I love this bit. I'll be quite sad to get rid of this because it's been sat on my desk. Well, sat behind me on my desk for a while, and it's got these amazing little dice inside it. So it's got these tiny little metal dice inside it. Okay, let me look at the winner. So here is the winner. Drum roll. Unfortunately, I think I think the winner's left us. I think so. Here we go. So the winner is Pastor 173. We'll have to reach out to Pastor. Unfortunately, yeah, Pastor has left. But don't worry, if you didn't get in this week, I am gonna do. We do a giveaway every week. I think what we're gonna give away next week is. We'll probably give away we've got the Be Like a Cat journals and tracker pads or whatever we're going to give away. We'll find something, or maybe some dice or something. But yeah, this is going to be going out to Pastor. Yeah. So listen, thank you very much. I'm awfully tired. I've been writing like a maniac the last few weeks. I've had a full-on day writing today. I'm very tired, so excuse me if I wasn't, on my top form. I will try and get myself rested, and yeah, we'll continue the story of Millie Cow next week. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, take care. Have a really good rest of the week, and you can reach out to me or Sarah on the socials, or by email, etc., if you've got any questions about the games. And yeah, take care. Thank you for watching.